All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rechak. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in true sincerity. All right, this is the brother Tawab Bakha from GMS Los Angeles / Inland Empire. Come back with another video in the spirit. And once again, Tawadi Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, for opening my eyes to his truth. Allow me to wake up another day and put the spirit on me to do another lesson in hopes of edifying the hopeful elect. Okay, so this video, I'm going to title it a cautionary tale about rebellion. And this is going to be the account of Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram. You know, these are individuals that rose up against Moses. And the Lord, you know, judged these individuals. Okay? You also had, you know, Israel, after the Lord judged Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram, you had Israelites that were murmuring, talking shit. Okay, and the Lord plagued Israel, you know, the Israelites that were, you know, murmuring. So this is something you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, those of you that have come across this knowledge, you know, and continues to be rebellious towards the Lord is going to destroy you, man. Okay, that rebellious. There is nothing new among our people, you know, that rebellious spirit. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this out as, like I said, this is a warning, a cautionary tale for you Jakes out there, man. Okay, so I'm going to get right into it, and I pray this is edifying. So this is Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "Now Korah, the son of Izar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi, and Dathan and Abiniram, the sons of Elab, and Un, the son of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown." So these individuals, Korah, he was a Levite, and Dathan and Abiniram, they were Reubenites. Okay, so these men were, like it says, they were famous among Israel, along with the 250 others that they, you know, that they gathered together to rebel against Moses. Okay, and see, this is nothing new. You know, you always have individuals that got a problem with the leaders that the Lord has set up, the men that the Lord has set up. You know, and we see it today. You know, we see it among these different groups, these camps. Okay, and that's why, you know, the Spirit got it to where Star Apostles here and elders at Great Millstone. That's why there's such a strict guideline here. You know, because Jake want to do whatever they want to do. You know, Jake don't want to have no kind of boundaries or structure. You know, Jake just want to do whatever the fuck they want to do and think that everything is going to be all good. And that's exactly why the Lord, you know, brought us low, because of that rebellious ass spirit, man. Okay. All right, it says, "And they gathered themselves together against Moses and Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord. So what they're saying unto Moses and Aaron is, you think you better than your own people? You think you better than us? And that's the mentality of our people today. You know, when we go out there on the highways and byways, okay, and we bring out this word and we show our people their transgressions, that's their attitude. Their attitude is, oh, these guys think they're better than us, you know? Not looking at it from a spiritual point of view, you know, because we're not coming out here in that spirit, in that mentality, man. Okay, we out here we're out here doing what the Lord commanded us to do, just like Moses was doing what the Lord commanded him to do. It's no different. But you know, that's our people. That's the mentality of our people. Or it says, and when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face, and he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, even tomorrow the Lord Yahweh will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him, even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him. You see that? So Moses basically told him, like, look, the Lord is the one that basically, in a roundabout way, you know, in a way, he was telling them that the Lord chose him to be in that position. Okay, he chose him to be on that level. Okay, because the Lord wasn't dealing with Israel how he was dealing with Moses, and it's the same thing with the elect of the nation of Israel. Okay, the Lord ain't dealing with all Israelites right now. He's only dealing with the elect. Okay. All right. It says, this do take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord Yahweh tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord Yahweh doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi. You see that? So Moses told Korah and all his followers, you know, to burn incense before the Lord, you know, on the morrow, to see who the Lord is going to be dealing with. Okay, to settle the matter once and for all. Okay, since you think that I'm better than the people of Israel, you think I'm exalting myself. Well, we're gonna see who the Lord is dealing with. You know. All right. It says, and Moses said unto Korah, "Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi." See, Moses is warning the tribe of Levi. Man, he's warning them Levites. All right. It says, seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the most high power of Israel have separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord Yahweh, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he have brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also. Right, because the Lord Yahweh, he chose the priests. First, the priesthood came through the sons of Levi. Okay, they were the ones that did all the sacrifices, you know, the offerings. You know, they did the atoning for Israel. They did those. They did all those services. They were the ones that were in charge of the services. All right, it says, and he brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee, and seek ye the priesthood also, for which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered against the Lord Yahweh. And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? Right, because they were murmuring against Moses and Aaron, you know. So Moses is warning those Levites that were following after Korah. Okay, and it says, and Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiniram and the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up. So Moses, he summoned Dathan and Abiniram, you know, to come and to do as he commanded Korah and those Levites. Okay, it says, is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us? See, now this is unbelievable, man. These dudes right here, they just basically said what which the Lord used Moses and Aaron to lead Israel out of Egypt. These guys are saying that was a light thing, and they basically said Moses led them in the wilderness to kill them. You know, that was Jake's attitude. You know, so they were just they talking shit against Moses and Aaron. You know, this is rebellion. Okay, and this is after the Lord did all these miracles, all those wonders in the midst of Israel, in the land of Egypt. He did all those things, and Jake still had that stony heart, that rebellious heart. Okay, and this is why the Lord has, you know, jacked up Israel the way he jacked Israel up. This is why the Israelites went into multiple captivities, man. This attitude right here. Okay? So this is, once again, a warning to you rebellious ass Israelites, man. This is just a one account in the scriptures, okay, of rebellious ass Israelites. And it's gonna show what the Lord did to these individuals. I'm gonna keep reading. It says, moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. Right, because the Lord brought, you know, once again, he used Moses and Aaron to bring the children of Israel out of captivity in the land of Egypt. The plan was to bring them into the land of Israel, you know, but they was in the wilderness, and that was all through the Spirit, because a lot of those Israelites, the Lord was gonna, you know, purge any damn way, because a lot of our people during that time were just off, man. You know, ultimately it was Joshua and Caleb that made it to the promised land. You know, because back then Jake was just ungrateful, man. You know, the Lord fed them manna. Okay, the Lord did all sorts of miracles for Jake, you know, but Jake was just ungrateful, and that just made the Lord angry, man. Okay, that's why the Lord, he's still angry with the majority of our people. You know, when you hear these stories about Jake, you know, getting brutally murdered and all sorts of bad shit happening to them, that's judgment of the Lord, man, on our people. Okay? All right, it says, moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up. And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, Yahweh, respect not thou their offering. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. Right. Moses said, I ain't did nothing to these individuals, man, yet they coming up against me. So Lord Moses, spoke unto the Lord and told the Lord, don't hear their offering, man. Don't respect their offering. Because that's why Moses, he commanded them to, burn those incense, man. Okay? Because Moses can see that these guys, through the Spirit, these guys wasn't right, man. Okay? All right, it says, and Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord Yahweh, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord Yahweh every man his censer, 250 censers, thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer and put fire in them and laid incense thereon, and stood in the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh appeared unto all the congregation. So the Lord appeared before the people. All right, and it says, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron, saying, separate yourselves from among this congregation, that I may consume them in a moment. So the Lord told Moses and Aaron, hey, get the hell away from these these people, because I'm about to destroy their ass, man. Right? All right, so it says, they fell upon their faces and said, O power, the power of spirits of all flesh, shall one man sin, and wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? So Moses and Aaron was begging the Lord not to, to bring that destruction upon Jake, right? That go to show you what spirit Moses and Aaron was in. They wasn't on that, coming up. They had Jake, Moses and Aaron had love for Israel, man. But it's just that, Jake, those guys, they was coveting after Moses' position. They was coveting after, that leadership spot. That's what it really all boils down to. That's why they did what they did. But still Moses and Aaron begged the Lord for the Lord not to bring that wrath on Israel, man, just because of these individuals. Okay. All right, it says, and the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the congregation, saying, get you up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram. And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiniram, and all the elders of Israel followed him. See, so the Lord told him, hey, go speak. You better go talk to those Israelites, man. You better tell them they better get away from these guys, because they gonna get the same judgment. So this is show you how serious this is, man. This is, that's to come up against the Lord's man. That's a very grave thing to do, man. That's a life and death. That's, you playing with fire, pretty much. Okay. All right. It says, and Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiniram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men. So Moses told the congregation of Israel, hey, you better depart from these guys, because these niggas is wicked, man. These niggas about to be destroyed, man. If anybody want to keep following you won't be destroyed with these niggas as well. And that's what same thing when we go out there on the highways and byways, we tell our people, hey, you better depart from this place. You better depart out of Babylon. Talking about mentally, man, spiritually. You better get right with the Lord and repent, or the Lord destroy your ass. So that's what the Lord told Moses. Hey, you better warn Jake, Okay? Or it says, depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men, and touch nothing of theirs, lest ye be consumed in all their sins. You see that? So this ain't no joke, man. The Lord ain't dealing with that rebellious, unruly ass spirit, man. You know? And our people that's in that spirit, the Lord gonna get rid of you jakes, man. Especially those of you that know this truth. Okay? Lord is not playing. All right? It says, so they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram, on every side, and Dathan and Abiniram came out and stood in the door of their tents, and their wives and their sons and all and their little children. And Moses said, hereby ye shall know that the Lord Yahweh have sent me to do all these works, for I have not done them of my own mind. You see that? So Moses is letting them know, like, man, these works that I do, it's not of me, it's of the Lord. The Lord commanded me to do these things. The Lord just used me as a tool, a vessel to do these things, man. It's all of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Okay? It says, if these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited after the visitation of all men, then the Lord have not sent me. So Moses is saying they die like a natural death, you know, or they die out of, you know, something that's not unusual. If they just die a regular death, a common death, then he said, then the Lord, that's a sign of the Lord having sent him, right? So if they just die a common death, then Moses is saying basically the Lord didn't send me. All right, it says, but if the Lord Yahweh make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth and swallow them up with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord Yahweh. You see that? So he's saying, but if the earth open up and swallow these guys, then you know that they provoked the Lord Yahweh. Okay? So, hey, just keep reading. It says, and it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, and all their goods, that it says they and all that appertain to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed up upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. So the Lord opened the earth. The Lord had the earth open up, and they fell into the earth. And then he closed the earth up over them, man. He buried them alive, you know, in the earth. You see that? That show you how serious, you know, the Lord is about, you know, his will, man. You know, so coming up against the Lord's men, coming up here, the men that he have set up, that's a very grave thing, man. That's not no light thing, man. Okay? So like I said, this is just a cautionary tale for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. Especially those of you that hear this word, but you still got that rebelliousness. You still got that rebellious spirit. Okay? It says, and all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also. You see that? So all the congregation, Israel, saw that, man. And that put fear on their ass, man. And that's why the Lord does these things, man. These are things that the Lord do to instill that fear in his people. You know, so Jake don't do those things, man. The Lord don't do these things because he hates his people. He does this to keep Jake in line. You know, just like our parents, you know, they would tell us to do things, and we didn't do those things. They were whoop our ass, man. You know, they didn't whoop us because they hated us. They whooped us so they can drive that, instill that fear in us to do right. And it's no different from the Heavenly Father, man. Okay? But the Heavenly Father, he does it on a whole nother level, man. Okay? All right, it says, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord. Therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers wherewith they were burnt, had offered. Slaki, it says, wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar. Right, so those censers that those 250 men, along with Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram, they were turned into plates, you know, for the altar. All right, it says, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Lord Yahweh, that he be not as Korah, as his company, as the Lord Yahweh said unto him by the hand of Moses. You see that? So that those plates were like a sign or memorial, you know, of what not to do. Okay, because what Korah and Abiniram and Korah, Dathan, and Abiniram did, that was a wicked thing. Okay, so the Lord made an example out of them. All right, it says, but on the morrow all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron, saying, ye have killed the people of the Lord. So Jake started talking shit about Moses and Aaron. He said, man, y'all killing your own people. You know, but check this out. It says, and it came to pass when the congregation was gathered against Moses and Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a moment. And they fell upon their face. So the Lord again came before Moses and Aaron and said, man, get away from these people, man. You know, that's go to show you, man, that our people continually angered the Lord, man. Our people just didn't fucking get it, man. Here it is, the Lord just destroyed these individuals for coming up against Moses, and these niggas are still talking shit, you know. So this pissed the Most High off. And again, Moses and Aaron had to plead with the Lord, man, for these people, man. You know. But see, you know, this is spiritual Egypt, America. See, all Israel ain't gonna make it out of this Egypt this time. 2/3 is gonna be destroyed here, man. Okay. But it just goes to show you, man, after all that the Lord did for our people are still rebellious, man. Okay. All right, it says, and Moses said unto Aaron, take a censer and put fire therein from the altar, and put put on incense and go quickly unto the congregation and make an atonement for them, for there is wrath going out from the Lord Yahweh. The plague is begun. You see, so the Lord sent the plague among Israel. All right, it says, and Aaron took as Moses commanded and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people, and he put on incense and made an atonement for the people, and he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Right, so the Lord had already sent a plague among Jake, and you had Jake that were already dead. You had the dead, you had the living. So the Lord had already took Jake out. He was already taking the Israelites out, man. You see that? So this show you, man, this thing is deadly serious, man. Okay? It says, now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. You see that? Lord killed 14,700 Israelites, man, that was murmuring, talking shit. And just because of that murmuring, a lot of Jake got put to death. Just because of their attitude, man. You know? All right, it says, and Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the plague was stayed. So that was the end of the plague. That was the end of the plague. But the point is, that was the last verse. The point is, I want, me bringing this out is just another cautionary tale of where rebelliousness is going to get you, man. Rebelliousness is going to bring you rebellious ass Israelites destruction, man. And look what the Lord is currently doing with, certain individuals that were once part of, that came underneath the apostle that was a great millstone, man. The Lord has been exposing these characters out here, man. The Lord has been exposing them among the whole congregation of Israel. Okay? And then, that's just light, because ultimately, the Lord's going to bring that wrath, man. And then, we don't want to be on the other side of the Lord's wrath, man. Okay? So, like I said, just a cautionary tale for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You brothers out there, you few sisters that watch, it behooves you to really take this thing serious, and not be in that rebellious spirit, man. Okay? Because, you want to... Those of you want to buck up against the order, you want to buck up against the men of the Lord, you playing with fire, man. Okay? So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, with that, I'm going to give all glory and praises to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKodash, the honors to the apostles, and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing his word, truth, sincerity. Shalom.